Stop calling your lawyer. First, for those who say I criticize lawyers, we've worked with more than 1,000, but this is for those people who have a lawyer who doesn't know what week it is, who has a lawyer that doesn't believe you, who thinks that you are a liar and a thief, and who just practically agrees with the government's version of events. For that reason, stop calling. We talk a lot about persuasion and how to persuade stakeholders to get the outcome you want, a judge, a probation officer, a prosecutor. Did you know that you might need to persuade your lawyer to mitigate or advocate properly on your behalf? And you can't do that by calling, because if they don't believe you, how can they advocate for you? Which is why you need to do the following. Much like you create assets to influence a judge or a probation officer, you need to begin showing this progress with your lawyer. So you don't call, you send an email. Hello, it's me. Since we met last, here's what I've begun to create. I've invested 100 hours creating this asset or life story that gives you more perspective of how I got here, what I've learned, and what I'll do moving forward. Thank you. Probably won't get a response. Then 3 weeks later, 3 months later, you can say, hello, Mr. Lawyer, it's me. 3 months ago, I wrote you an email about what I would do moving forward. I need you and others to hold me accountable. This email is an update on the progress that I've made. I said I would begin to volunteer. I have. I said I was going to begin to look for work. I'm attaching to this email 100 employment applications that I have submitted. Hope you're well. Talk soon. Probably won't get a response. 3 months later, hi, Mr. Lawyer. It's me. Since my initial email 6 months ago and 3 months ago, here's what I've continued to do. I'm following through on the commitments I make because everyone thinks I'm an inveterate thief and criminal who says something and does another. It's probably the reason you don't pick up the phone or call me back, which is why I've stopped calling. Apparently, I need to persuade you that I'm different than the government's version of events, which is why I'm writing another update on the progress that I am making. Some of your lawyers don't believe you. They think you're criminals, especially the former U.S. attorneys who still think like a prosecutor, the defense attorneys who are too afraid to negotiate for fear that it is going to, thank God I'm 50 and successful, and I can say, I don't care. The former U.S. attorneys who still think like a U.S. attorney, who are afraid to negotiate for fear that it's going to upset the current U.S. attorney, their former colleague and friend and brother. It's your life. Advocate, persuade, and too often, unfortunately, for those of you who have hired a lawyer who doesn't know what week it is, you need to persuade your lawyer and show why you are a candidate for leniency. Stop calling. Share the work with them, or get a longer federal prison sentence.